At the start of the winter came the permanent rain, and with the rain came the cholera. But it was checked, and in the end, only 7,000 died of it in the army.
Hemingway uses sarcasm, saying only 7,000 died due to this permanent rain. This permanent rain is like a dark cloud of death and hardships due to war that cover Henry and that encompass Henry, and it never seems to leave Henry until he declares a separate peace from war.
Hemingway effectively uses imagery in describing Catherine. The tone he uses when he talks about her is worlds different from the way he describes the war. Henry, as he progresses in his relationship with Catherine, he begins to describe her in great detail with these wonderful words that just allow you to see how beautiful he really thinks she is. And he seems like he's at his happiest when he's talking about her. Like he's really, truly happy for the first time, just talking about her hair.
She had wonderfully beautiful hair, and I would lie sometimes and watch her twisting it up in the light that came in the open door, and it shone even in the night as water shines sometimes just before it's really daylight. She had a lovely face and body and lovely smooth skin too. We would be lying together, and I would touch her cheeks and her forehead and under her eyes and her chin and throat with the tips of my fingers and say, "Smooth as piano keys." And she would stroke my chin with her finger and say, "Smooth as emery paper and very hard on piano keys."
While he has to struggle and soon discovers the complexities that war bring, it really soothes him to know that he has a lover and a relationship with Catherine that brings him such happiness. While he's with Catherine, he doesn't have to think about the war and how to win it, because during this time he finds out that maybe there is no real victory to the war and that it's kind of endless.
As the war moves on and Henry has declared his love for Catherine, he also begins to declare his commitment to the war. I think that he starts to realize that his commitment to Catherine and his commitment to the war are similar in a lot of ways. He sort of exemplifies this when he starts to refer to him and Catherine as a we, instead of individuals.
Frederick Henry really grows in this novel. Towards the beginning of the novel, we see him indifferent to war and not really knowing what he wants, like his relationship with Catherine and just being a game. But then through some situations, like when he was wounded and when he started to build a relationship with Catherine and Catherine becoming pregnant, he started to really find himself. And then we start to see him really coming into himself and loving his life and relationships.
It seems as though Henry is a very wounded character, both emotionally and physically. During the war, he receives many physical wounds, which parallels his relationship with Catherine, which he receives emotional wounds. During the war, his physical wounds were given medical attention, and however, his relationship with Catherine, which gave him emotional wounds, they did not receive any attention. Fixing his emotional wounds would take a lot more work on Henry's part, because personally, emotional wounds can be a lot more deeper than any physical wounds received.
In the end of the novel, Henry loses everything. The rain begins to fall and he loses his baby and his true love. It's really the tragedy that plagues love in the time of war.
It was like saying goodbye to a statue. After a while, I went out and left the hospital and walked back to the hotel in the rain.
So why Hemingway? Why A Farewell to Arms? His language, his characters, and this war are what make this novel of great significance. These characteristics are what make this novel the perfect portrayal of love in a time of war.
You shouted hurrah for the state, but while you are cheering the heroes who fight, just think of the women who wait. Women who wait, women who wait. You don't fight with guns at the enemy's gate. There's no VC for you, but your duty you do, and and you're none the less heroes, brave women who wait. For men there's the danger and the peril of war. A shot may soon settle their fate, but war so